My name is Kenneth.
My name's Ailey.
Jordan. Ian.
Declan.
Ali.
Brian.
Kerry Ann.
John.
Simon.
I'm Joshua Brown.
And what do you do?
Well,
I'm an artist.
I'm a journalist.
I'm a retired man now.
I'm a student at the City of Glasgow College.
I'm a retired welder.
I'm still at school.
Interpreter.
I'm a chef.
I'm a student.
I've just finished studying digital filmmaking.
I've just graduated and I'm a flyer. Haven't found a job.
What were you voting and why?
I voted yes today because I feel like there's a real need for a change in UK politics, and I think this is probably the only way that it's going to come about.
Why do you feel that way? Why are you voting towards yes?
I'm extremely excited, and every day I get more excited about the possibilities for independence. I think that we have an opportunity here to take a lead in showing that greater democracy is possible. Scotland doesn't have the kind of representation that we need and that we deserve. In Scotland, as you'll know, we only have one Tory MP at Westminster, but we're subjected to Tory policies like the bedroom tax, the benefits cap, additional spending on Trident nuclear weapons, while poverty and inequality are getting worse.
This is unfair. These are the situations that needed to be addressed at the very beginning, and now, because of the referendum, they've started to say, we'll give Scotland more power if it votes no. Why haven't we had those powers in the past? Why haven't we had more powers in the past and been able to fix the problems that are now existing?
The arguments for Scotland not being able to afford it, also the arguments for Scotland being able to afford it. Either way, I think these are questions that countries need to ask themselves all the time anyway. So you've got annual budgets in the UK that try and determine whether UK can afford to be an individual country. So I personally don't think you can really make this decision solely based on that, because again, these are just the questions of nations. I think really fundamentally for me it boiled down to proportional representation. Can the people of Scotland determine their own fate?
That's why I vote yes. Like, I'd rather have control of. I'd rather the Scottish electorate were represented better than they are just now.
Oh, yes.
Sound.
I feel like Scottish independence, if we kind of start to lead the way and set a better example, it could have a really good knock-on effect for the rest of the UK as well. So it's kind of a vote for UK politics as much as for Scotland.
What way do you think the referendum will go?
I genuinely don't know. It's so close, really. It's just too close to call. Well, I mean, going by what the BBC have said, it's too close to call, but they are pretty biased. But never mind.
I've been very disappointed with the BBC's coverage of the independence campaign. In fact, I've spoken and attended many demonstrations against the BBC around the biased coverage. I think the BBC, at the end of the day, is worried about their funding.
Initially, I always thought it was just a bit of hype from the Yes campaign to say the BBC's horrendous, and and mainstream media is playing it up. But then you start watching this stuff and you start reading all these different articles, and you're just like, my word, they're really spinning it. I find it really fascinating because what seems to have happened is people depend on the reliability of the facts on social media and blogs. So most of the people that I know got swayed one way or the other, not through mainstream media, but through Facebook articles, blogs, Twitter accounts, and all of that sort of stuff, and regular debate that's happened online. I think has played a massive part in convincing people in what they're doing, which I think is really exciting because it kind of democratizes information a bit.
If we win independence for Scotland, I hope that we will have a state broadcasting company that is more balanced in reflecting what the Scottish people think. We want a democratic and balanced media, not one that goes directly with the ruling party's policies. I don't think that's fair or equal or balanced.
I'm voting no because I feel it's better together. You can't go wrong with a bit of security, can you?
Why? Because I believe I'm British, and a lot of people in Scotland are British. I've got Sweden first, of course.
We've been alright for an amount of years, so I don't see anything wrong with the UK.
I don't think I can say for the Scottish people. I mean, it should be their decision, but I guess from the little I know, if I were Scottish, I would vote no. Just because the Yes campaign hasn't given enough answers to what's going to happen on various issues, for example, the currency.
A little bit of oil is not enough. And I think if we go separated, we will close the door and the chance on the new or future generation chance of getting benefit from a bigger economy, United Kingdom. And we limited that. I don't believe this time is the right time for independence.
I think there's a number of political issues which have come into the campaign, but they're really nothing to do with the campaign, and it's a deliberate ploy by those who support the Yes campaign to avoid the issue of whether to stay in the United Kingdom or not. And to me, it's totally irrelevant what you think about Trident, the bedroom tax, and other political issues, because they're all issues which, ironically, people on both sides might agree on anyway.
And I believe that this whole Yes movement campaign is fueled by hatred, not by political ideals or financial ideals. I believe that the majority of the people who vote for Yes, sadly, are fueled by hatred of the English, hatred of Westminster and London, and hatred of the Conservative Party. There are many who are sincere, there are many who are making political decisions, but I believe, when I speak to people wherever I live and around the areas, hatred of England fuels this campaign.
So I think it's much better for the stability of Scotland and the United Kingdom if there's a no vote, because there will be so much further division and conflict if there is a yes vote, and so much uncertainty. It's been about people saying, well, if you're not happy with democracy and accountability, you should be voting to separate from the United Kingdom. Well, there's no evidence whatsoever that any country which has become independent has suddenly become more accountable and democratic. Our argument in the No campaign is if we work together, we can improve the democratic accountability in partnership throughout the United Kingdom, and that's what I personally hope actually happens.
One final question. What way do you think the vote will go today?
I think that there's not going to be a huge margin in it. I think, there are several steps that we had to go through in order to win independence. The first step was to win the argument with people that it was important to engage in the process. It was important to come out and be a part of the independence referendum and to be a part of that campaign. I think we've won that part of the campaign already. When you look at the fact that 97% of eligible voters in Scotland are registered now, I don't know the figures, but it has to be one of the highest in the world where voting is not mandatory. So we've engaged people in politics. We've got them thinking and talking and acting around this campaign. That's fantastic. That is an achievement that's significant in and of itself. We have an opportunity to shape a brighter future. If it's a no vote, we have a lot of work to do to bring people back together and to campaign to defend against the cuts that will come as a punishment from Westminster. That either way, what we need following today is we need people to come together and to campaign for the needs of ordinary working people. But if it's a yes vote, all hope and opportunities are open to us, and we will be an inspiration to other countries around the world.